evening, everybody, and welcome to our stream.
Hello there.
We'll be talking some fun topics and stuffing our faces and...
Some fun topics. You brought topics, or is it all me again? I'm kidding.
Well, you do know Mama's turnovers are the best.
Yes, I do. I figure, well, we were making them for breakfast for the girls, but you gotta try them and make sure they're not poison and you put enough love in them. Right?
Right.
And you're right, that lemon cherry frosting on it is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be considered a glaze, but... You can tell them because it's actually kind of funny.
What? All you gotta do is just scream polo.
That's funny.
He was legitimately saying Marco out there.
Yeah. Polo! Yep.
She plays Marco Polo with her cat. And...
Well, see, now, okay, I think the significant part of that is he plays back. Because you can play Marco Polo with your cat. I'm just assuming that most people don't get an answer like I do. Did you see the look on his face when I told him found you?
I didn't. Did he look like a deer in the headlights?
Dude, he looked at me like it was real fucking hard. I'm over here under the table squawking and you think I'm hard to find. But I'll tell you what, that cat goes into stealth mode. And you don't see him. It in all of his favorite places, and he's nowhere to be found. And then he comes crawling out of a cabinet somewhere.
He gets real creative with the game, don't he?
Yeah. Hey, you know, he was very aptly named. That's all I'm saying. He keeps life interesting, let's just put it that way.
That he does.
The craziest thing I've ever seen him do was throw an empty pop can or an empty soda can at Leviathan. And we brought him home from the hospital. And Staka was like trying to keep his distance because he's like, what the fuck is that? And does it taste good? And he looks at it and it cries. And he walks by and I had a soda can that was sitting there waiting to go upstairs. And he walks right up to it, smacks it with his paw, and then runs to the window and climbs up in the windowsill. That cat's got a lot of personality, and it's not me making up stories for him. That cat really used to hide his brother's marbles. It was the craziest thing, and then Spot would just attack the fuck out of him because he's like, where are my goddamn marbles? But he'd annoy him with them on the tile and shit. Or in the laundry basket. He used to chase it round and round in the laundry basket. And Stock would get pissed and jump in there and take his marble and disappear. I think we have Narnia under our bed. If you judge by that cat, Narnia was under our bed.
Is that where he'd always vanished to?
Uh-huh. We finally found his stash when we moved. It was crazy the things that were in it.
Mm. A lot of shiny things.
No, a lot of hair ties. Some tape. The cat loves to chew tape for some weird reason. A shit ton of marbles. What? A clothespin that was busted in half. Yeah, I mean, that was like the most notable things that he took. Spot used to take people's keys. I had to put hooks up because if you sat down and put your keys next to you, the cat would run up on you, jump on you, and snatch your keys and run.
That's funny.
Dude. He's like, nope, you ain't leaving.
I like you. Just stay a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, Stock is funny. He knows when people don't like cats. And he goes, and he will not leave them alone. It's the greatest fucking thing. And they're like, oh my god, I don't want to be mean to your cat, but he won't get off me. I'm like, dude, I can pull him off of you, but he's just going to go jump back up there. I'm like, your best bet is to just let him lay down and pet him. And by the time they leave, they love cats. Well, they love my cat. And then other people, he's like, nah, fuck you in particular, and he'll just sit there and glare at you. It's all good. Your cat, let's talk about your cat for a minute. She always looks like she wants to jump up and slit your throat, man. I am Anubis and I may be small, but I will eat you. What the fuck? She picked up Stocko's trick.
Which one?
Sitting in the cabinet waiting for somebody to come by and then smacking them. She likes to do it to the dogs, too. That used to freak Miranda out. The first time he did that shit, she was like, what the fuck? And he's like, he don't just sit there like, haha, I gotcha. He pulls back into it so you don't see him. So you walk by and he gets you the other way, too. And don't even try to make the bed with him in the room.
Why not?
Because he attacks your feet. He'll jump up on the bed as you're trying to, like, you know how you, like, fluff the sheet and stuff up? He'll jump up there underneath it, and then he won't move. And then he'll bite you every time you touch him. Yeah, I guess he does play. I just kind of figured it was more being an asshole than playing with me. Oh, him and Spot's favorite game was balancing on the side of the bathtub while I was taking a bath, and the other one would bust through the door and run in the room and push him. Yeah, neither one of them were afraid. Huh?
He's played that with Anubis a couple of times and she ended up in the toilet.
Yeah. He thinks there's a fucking game where cat's a little sadistic. Okay, but we're also talking about the cat that will, if I'm taking a bath and he's in the mood, will come and lay on my chest with half of his body in the water with me. He's always loved baths.
He's done that a couple of times with me too.
And he doesn't really use his claws. Unless he's mad at you, and then you always gotta deal with that bitch claw. Yeah, woohoo. So, I got an interesting kind of topic you might like.
Okay.
Well, we've been having issues finding stuff that the girls can watch without them acting completely ridiculous. So I came across this little thing where it was animals who ask humans for help.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually really cool because they had predatory animals. Like one of them was a shark. Motherfucking shark swims up to dude, pokes him, shows him the hook in his belly, gets dude to pull it out, nudges him, and swims the fuck away. And it's all on video.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's fucking badass.
These girls are gonna love stuff like that.
Oh, they always did. But I was just like, I was amazed because, did you know that there was, quite a few years ago in, I believe it was Africa, this little girl got kidnapped. And the men took her into basically the woods or, you know,
Yeah.
it's Africa. And when they got out there, there was a pride of lions coming through, and the lions scared off the men and protected the girl until people came and found her.
That is interesting.
Okay, well, stop and think about this. How much credit do we really give animals for being able to comprehend a situation? You know, the one thing I bring up all the time is ombre. That shit pissed me the fuck off, and fuck Jack Hanna for the bullshit he said. Can you give me one of those? And you know what the funny thing is about that? There was another case of a 3-year-old boy falling in a gorilla habitat. You want to know what the outcome of that was?
The gorilla died.
No! The female gorilla put her baby down. Okay, a still nursing baby. Went over, got the kid, and took him to where the rescuers were to get him help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you watch the video of Ombre, he couldn't get a hold on him. The kid kept slipping out of his hand. He was trying to pick him up and get him out of the fucking water. He had no intention on hurting that kid. Even if that kid would have started screaming bloody murder while he was carrying him, he'd have just dropped him. You know why that is?
Why?
Because intelligent animals don't see babies as being a danger. Okay, hunger is one thing you got to take into consideration, though, too, because, well, you remember the tigers in, was it Africa? No, where was that? It was in India, I believe, but they had this village that was right on the river, and the tigers hunt right along the river, and so people were getting killed left and right because, well, the tigers were hunting, and they were very good at what they do, right?
Right.
And they were trying to figure out how to do it humanely to where they didn't have to go out and kill the tigers. So what they did was they got this whole village dollar masks, little Halloween masks, and they wear them on the back of their head when they're at the water because it looks like it's looking at the lions or at the tigers, so the tigers won't attack. That's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think would be the weirdest animal to raise somebody?
An armadillo.
Okay, let's be realistic here. It's a ball with legs that eats shits and fornicates. Let's find something intelligent, okay?
You asked.
Well, we're being realistic here. I'm talking like a predator. What the fuck? What? Oh, I'm an armadillo. You better watch out, ants. Is that armadillos?
Those are anteaters.
Okay, but what if you get adopted by an aardvark? You gonna try and stick your tongue down a termite hole?
You might.
Yeah, well, I think that eventually you'd realize that your tongue ain't the same as theirs.
Well, yeah, of course.
And do you know how many termites a human would have to eat to sustain life? I mean, they're a lot of protein, but dude, I would not eat that one. No, I wouldn't eat bugs. But then again, if I was a feral child, you never know what you'd eat.
Depends on the predator or prey.
Okay. There's a man in Africa that feeds the hyenas. And they're like his pets. Never attacked him, nothing. And he feeds them meat from a stick. And they come up and do, and yeah, it's like really fucking impressive.
Okay.
They had a feral boy that was raised by hyenas.
Coyotes would be one of those ridiculous ones.
No, actually. Coyotes would actually be a very feasible... Okay, like for me, bizarre would be bears. Right?
Yeah, that would be bizarre.
Because, okay, there have been wolves, there have been gorillas, there have been lions.
Hyenas.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of different... But the thing is they're all very intelligent animals. But what about you take a bear? A bear is intelligent. I don't think I've ever heard of a bear raising a human, though.
I haven't either. Dingoes.
But then again, bears abandon their children after, 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they'd probably be like, oh, you're two, you can walk around and have fun in the woods. Hope you don't get eaten by something. I'm gonna go find me a grizzly. Oh, come on. She's looking at me all weird. Oh, come on, that was fucking funny, and you know
That
it.
was great.
But okay, I could see an orangutan.
What about a parrot?
No.
That'd be too ridiculous too.
An elephant. I could see an elephant.
Adventure parrot.
Yes, but that's not the same thing as being raised by a parrot. Seriously, have a fucking adventure parrot, damn it. And we'll make a special place on my fucking wheelchair for it.
We're gonna name it Alejandro, okay?
No.
That way I can play that song for you every time I see you.
No. His name's gonna be, what's your name again? Come on. We're planning this for when I'm senile, so that better be his, what's your name again? Yes, ma'am, what can I do for you? You gotta be creative with this shit. I will fucking go into brain lock trying to think of a name. And then it might turn into one of those who's on first things. What's your name again? Yes, ma'am. No, what's your name again? Yes, ma'am. You mean your name is yes, ma'am? No.
What's your name again?
Dude, you could entertain thousands of people just by that. Teach parrots to say that shit.
Make a monopoly off of that.
Oh my goodness. I have my danger dog.
Everybody would be trying to get to our nursing home if we did that.
Hmm?
Everyone would be trying to get to your nursing home if you
No, it ain't gonna be a nursing home. It's my fucking village. I finally get to live away from everybody with my adventure parrot and go kill dragons and play Don Quixote and shit. You know, now that I think about it, do you think that Don Quixote actually had schizophrenia?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting when you look back on this stuff when you have new knowledge and you're like, whoa. But they didn't have names for a lot of this stuff back then.
A lot of it's still unknown.
Well, a lot of it was classified as deviant behavior. And well, it was never meant to be devious. Ha ha, see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
It was just a term. And that's the problem, is that science doesn't have emotions, so therefore it's very clinical, right? So the terms that we use...
His name shall be Bastard or Dick or Dickhead.
No, fuck. It's either gotta be what's your name again or fuck. Seriously. You should train it to both names, I swear. But the way that things were classified, I mean, it was just not considered pertinent. But you also have to understand that there's this image of this perfect America that never was. What's that meme I keep seeing? I'm having a conversation with somebody about my child with autism.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, back in my day, we didn't have that kind of stuff. And the person says, no, back in your day, people had to suffer through it without ever being diagnosed. And honestly, if you go back and... See, I wonder if Edgar Allan Poe had some other issues other than his cocaine addiction.
I agree.
Okay, this brings up an interesting thing. Okay. Let's go deep for a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, do you know what time frame Edgar Allan Poe was?
No, I do not.
Okay. I can't remember exactly what year he died. Forgive me, it's been a while and it's like really retarded. Hang on a second here. Because I'm going to bring up cancel culture again, okay? You ready for it? Are you actually going to talk to me, or are you going to go to sleep and leave me all by myself talking to the wall?
I'm going to talk to you.
Okay, he was born in 1809 and he died on my birthday in 1849. I always thought that was a cool thing about my birthday. Oh, Edgar Allan Poe died today. Okay, so if you look at how cancel culture works today, okay, we have all of these people that they're getting pegged for sexual assaults at some point in their career, right?
Right.
So people are canceling them, right?
Right.
They're like, oh, I can't listen to you anymore. I mean, I did that with a couple of people because I was like, you fucking disgust me. Right?
Right.
And yeah, I'm sorry. I am one of those people that I feel that way. But then, here's where the hard part of that comes in, and where the gray area, well, the tending to go into what people would consider going into a gray area. You know, I think everything's a gray area, but... So, Edgar Allan Poe married his 13-year-old cousin when he was an adult. So by our standards today, what would that make him?
A pedophile.
Okay, by the standards back then, what would that have made him? Stop and think about this. By the standards back in his time, what would that have made him? It's a word I hate to use. Would have made him normal. The 1800s was, like I said the other night, when we were selling our 10-year-old daughters to grown-ass men off to go have babies and basically be a slave to the man at the house, right? And the children. And, I mean, everybody's seen The Color Purple, I'm assuming. And I'm sorry, but women back then were, yeah. I'd have defected. I don't like this shit. I'm going elsewhere. So, can you hold him to the same standards that you hold somebody to today?
No, you can't.
Are you sure? Because if that's the case, then we gotta throw out a lot of literature throughout history. So, what makes it okay to accept it from another time frame, but not now? Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I'm not even sure.
How many people have you heard say, "Oh, I'm never going to read Edgar Allan Poe again because he married his 13-year-old cousin," who he was madly, madly in love with, I will add, and who died and was the reason why he basically went off the deep end when she died. And the common consensus is that he drank himself to death, basically.
So cirrhosis of the liver.
No. I'm thinking more alcohol poisoning because they still don't know exactly what killed him. They just found him dead in a cemetery. Yeah, weird shit. Okay, so where do you draw the line? I mean, it is a part of our culture. So do you just cancel out anything bad in your culture? Because let's be honest here, it happens a hell of a lot more than people think it does. And I'm not just talking to women, it happens to men too. I mean, although I don't know how you do that. That would be, I thought there was first some dynamics involved in that just would stop it from happening, but I guess some bitches carry around popsicle sticks and duct tape, right?
Right. Well, it's whatever people are into, you know?
I'm sorry, this is not funny. I just deflect with humor because, yeah.
Trigger topic.
Yeah, trigger topic. But no, it is part of our culture. It doesn't mean we need to embrace it, but it is a source of contention through a lot of things because A, they shame the victim. Oh, well, if you weren't wearing that, it wouldn't have happened. Oh, if you weren't walking there, it wouldn't have happened. Oh, if you weren't around that person, it wouldn't have happened. Okay, well, if this motherfucker could have kept himself in check, it would have never happened. How come that's never come up? Right?
Right.
Okay, so we live, and this is one of the ways you can see how sexually biased our fucking country is. The only true thing that a woman has for herself can be taken, and you get a slap on the fucking hand. Don't do it again. So if that's really truly how our society works, how can they cancel these people? I mean, you followed the whole thing with Dolly Vanity for a while.
I did.
And I met the guy a couple of times. He seemed okay to me. I didn't see any weird shit, and we talked. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're right.
And well, I'm more inclined to believe that it's true considering that he went into hiding. But then again, everybody wants a piece of him right now. So is that right too?
No, it's not.
I mean, have we gotten to the point where we no longer trust our judicial system to do what needs to be done to the point where we're willing to take it into our own hands?
Well, for some people it is. He says wood chipper goes burr.
Okay, you see what I was talking about with Alice in Wonderland, though? There's all these rules, and certain people can do certain things, and other people can only do other things, and this is the world we live in, and people are trying to navigate this, and we wonder why everybody's so fucking unhappy. There's a simple solution to all of it. Quit being fucking assholes! Right?
Right.
I made a post 11 years ago that said I want to get my hands on. I want to get my hands on some of this ignorance. I want to feel bliss again.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, what do you think is worse, being able to see what's going on, or just being oblivious to it and be a lemon walking around wanting to go off the cliff?
I think walking around being a lemon is the worst thing.
Yeah, some days I wish I was a lemon.
You're a freaking dragon.
I know, but lemons aren't very filling. Yeah, I think some days it would just be easier to be oblivious to everything and just live that American dream. Although I would not be a very good alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, my luck, I'd black out and start a revolution. Oh, come on, that's funny.
I can see it though.
I could too, that's why I've never... those filters are in place for a reason, goddammit.
We'll break this filter and maybe this filter too.
No, they just start dropping the drunker I get. The drunker I get, see? I'm not even drunk right now. The more intoxicated I get, let's say it properly. And don't let me drink tequila. I want to go fuck shit up when I drink tequila.
I would love to see you play
I'm gonna
Burnout.
play Minecraft. I'm gonna hit this tree.
I'd love to see you play Burnout 3 when you're like that.
Dude, I've played Need for Speed Underground while I was drunk as fuck, and yeah, it's a good thing I never drove drunk. I did it once 3 blocks, and I was like, fuck. I was like 5 miles an hour. That's why I started walking to the bar, and actually I went after work with a friend, so...
And it's sad.
What?
When you actually think about it and people go into hiding because they did something wrong, that's normally their guilt getting to them.
No. If it's a repeat offense, there's no guilt to it. You should know that by now. See, okay, coolest thing I ever heard was actually in Love and Logic. And Love and Logic is what they use in schools. And I had a friend where I worked who took it, and he's like, oh my god, it like literally changed our life, blah, 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 blah. Really great program. I loved it. The kids hated it, but they do it to people now themselves, so it's kind of funny. But they tell you, your kids see you as a vending machine. They're going to push buttons on you until they get something, right?
Right.
Okay, now put this into your everyday life. How many people push buttons hoping to get something?
A lot of people.
So what's the secret? To stop that feeling, what's the secret? You turn the machine off. No means no. And I'm sticking to my guns.
Yeah. Well, I've seen my kids love and logic me.
Yeah, they love and logic you too. They try to do it to me, and I'm like, I am impervious.
I have to be like, I'm okay with it. Otherwise, it gets pretty bad.
Oh, I thought it was funny because your older sister was like, fuck your love and logic, I ain't doing it. And yet, then she turns around and tries to use it on me. I think the best thing that I was ever told during that whole class is that I can put myself in timeout. I'll tell you what, you want to freak your fucking kids out? I need to go to timeout. I'll see you when I'm ready. You know, it's sad. You know what I do when I go put myself in timeout?
What?
I sit there and cry. I can't believe I just did that to my kids. What an asshole I am.
You're too funny.
Well, it worked though, you know. If I put myself in timeout, it was like the world ended and everybody was on their best behavior. Which was kind of the idea, right?
Right. It also made us realize we really fucked up too.
Yeah. So how do you do that in your real life? Because love and logic works on everybody. And all it is just a different approach to things and a different way of thinking. Right?
Right.
And I don't know, toy jail. Kids would fight over a toy, or I have to go pick up this toy 10 times in a day, it goes to toy jail. And then you got to do a chore to get it out of toy jail.
Yeah. I remember that.
Well, see, it's about teaching your kids that there are consequences to everything, right?
Right.
So it's better to learn when you're young that there's consequences to everything than when you're older.
Right.
When the stakes are a bit higher, right?
Right.
And I always tell people when they're like, I can't control my kids. Like, Love and Logic, dude. They got a whole fucking thing of books, and they've got seminars and shit, and yeah. And plus, you'll kind of be on the same wavelength of their teachers. Oh, it's great when your kids come home and say, my teacher doesn't do Love and Logic right.
We did used to do that, huh?
Yes, you did.
It's funny. I think that's great.
That's it. It's creative parenting, honey. it's hard because the reason why generational habits are so hard to break is because we only know what we're taught. So if you don't know any better than what you were taught, how can you change anything?
Yeah.
Well, and excuse my bluntness here, but I have a feeling that's how my generation ended up with a bunch of self-entitled little punks for kids. I'm gonna do it better than my parents did. I'm not gonna be a strict asshole. Whoops, you probably should have been. Oh. No, I would say I was stricter than most parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least out of your friends.
Oh yeah. We hear about it every day.
What?
Oh, how come your mom's so strict on you guys?
You know why? I'll tell you exactly why. It's one very easy reason. I didn't want y'all to be little assholes. Are you a little asshole?
Can be.
No, I'm a big asshole now, Mom. You're not an asshole.
I was just saying it could be.
Well, it's tough because then you fall into that free will thing, and kids are gonna do what kids are gonna do, right?
Right.
You know, it's part of why I couldn't fault your sister for everything.
Why?
It's because I was as headstrong as she was, and I did almost, well, not quite the same thing, but, you know, I moved out prematurely, and I was like, I got this, I can do this on my own, and I got out there, and I was like, what the actual fuck, right?
Right.
I still managed to pull it off, but yeah, what the fuck, dude? That's not anything like y'all told me life was gonna be.
No.
No.
Mm.
But I was working full time and going to school full time. And trying to hold everything else down. And yeah, it's hard to do. But I get it. I get how you fall into that. Because you need the job to keep your apartment so you have a place to sleep and live. And then you get up and do the same shit 2 years every morning. Just, dude.
You do the same thing every 2 years.
Huh?
Well, I don't know. I'd manage it.
I just did.
Hmm.
I don't know. There's no secret there. Willpower. I'm tenacious as fuck. It had to be done. I mean, I guess I could have dropped out of school. That would have been the easy route, right?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe because I wanted to prove to myself I could do it. And maybe flip a finger at my dad.
Hmm.
Now, I got sent to an all-girl Catholic school because he, and I quote, said I wouldn't make it in a regular public school. And guess what happened when I went to a regular public school?
Hmm.
I got straight A's. I was like, fuck you, dude. And I even sent him the damn report card. I was like,
No, it's just funny with a lot of the logic.
It is. But see, okay, a lot. I hate seeing this all over fucking Facebook and shit. Oh, what are we supposed to do if we can't spank our kids? It's not illegal to spank your kids, people. It's illegal to abuse your kids, but it's not illegal to spank them. They do have guidelines of what's acceptable for spanking your kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes it is necessary. And I usually reserve it for if it's something that could hurt somebody or they're fighting. I don't like that shit. And won't stop.
Yeah.
I don't know, every day I ask myself how the fuck I did this with 4 of you.
We all weren't special needs, though, Mom.
You know what? In your own right, you were.
Yeah.
Yeah? That one plaguing question all the time that I had to answer that I didn't know the answer to. Right?
Right.
And that was something that you guys brought up at least twice a week. So maybe not in the aspect of what you're talking about, but in other ways, yes, you all were.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was that I felt the need to compensate for what wasn't there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you find that doing that with your daughters?
I do. It helps a lot.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. So does Love and Logic. And it's great when the kids love and logic me. I'm just like, oh, they pulled that with me.
I know. I also said I was a lot younger back then.
We're all naive at some point in life, you know?
Yeah, but, you know, mistakes are how you get old and wise. Now let me rephrase that. I don't think that anything is a mistake if you learn something out of it. Right?
Right.
Okay, that may not be pretty accurate. I just thought about 5 things that, no, that's not, yeah. But anyhow, so you got any interesting topics, or is that it?
That was it.
Really? How you feeling about tomorrow? You gonna help me cook?
Yes, when I cook, I'm excited.
How you feeling about we're still eating leftovers from our first Thanksgiving dinner and about to make another one?
I'm okay with it.
That's just because of what it is, huh?
Yep, I love me some leg of lamb.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, it's gonna be good. I guess in a sense we're having a pretty traditional Celtic feast. Right?
Right.
And that's okay. I dig it.
I do too. You know what else I really dig about it?
What?
It's a leanier meat.
Yes. Oh, that's what I love about leg of lamb. It's not real super greasy, so when you make the roast, if you season it just right and you put the vegetables in with it, it coats them just enough in the meat juices that's not too greasy that it tastes really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking rosemary this time.
Rosemary goes really good with
Some
it.
rosemary and sage and, yeah.
Dash of cayenne pepper.
Yes, a dash of cayenne. So that's what I love about cayenne. You don't have to put enough in it to taste it to reap the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Nice, huh? Yes.
Yes.
And maybe we'll put some dill. Oh shit, we still gotta go package up cherry turnovers.
We do. Those are bomb.
I'm ready to be cutting machine again tomorrow. I'm gonna need your help with the garlic though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make little slits in the meat and we're gonna put slices of garlic in it.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna need you to hold it open probably so I can.
Put the garlic inside.
Yeah.
I can do that.
See, this is when I wish I had one of those little injector kits.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are actually pretty good. There's a butter and garlic one that's actually really, really good. And basically it's just the stuff that you inject into the meat and it adds a little flavor to it and it's really good.
Sounds like it.
I used to do that with the with chicken all the time when you were a kid. And roast. You remember that little syringe thing I was always poking at it with?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was doing.
You know what sounds like fun to do?
What?
Go to the botanic garden one day.
Yeah, that's always fun. Maybe not in the winter, but
Go in the springtime when everything's opening.
yeah.
Go to the butterfly pavilion.
Yeah, you don't think I should go alone because y'all don't want to wait forever?
Nope.
Okay. I really want to go to one of the IMAX sensory shows.
Me too.
Huh?
Me too.
I think that would be a rather interesting experience for Leilani.
I do too. I just hope she doesn't get overwhelmed.
Well, she's doing better with that. She is, and it's a special sensory show, so there's not as many people. And I'm assuming it's not as bright or as loud.
Yeah.
But they have one at the planetarium, and you know how much this girl loves her stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a thing, they're doing laser rock again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
See, I don't know if it would be the same. Well, I already know it wouldn't be the same because now you can do all sorts of crazy shit with it. Whereas back when they first started doing it, about the extent of the light show was the spirograph stuff.
Huh. Interesting.
But it was really cool. It was, dude, that was like one of the coolest things ever from my childhood. Even if you had to stand in line for a fucking hour with a bunch of drunk idiots. Yeah, everybody had to get drunk before they went to Laser Rock.
That sounds like fun.
Shit, last time I went was right before I got pregnant with your sister. And then they quit doing it forever. I don't know, if they have anything good, that would be a fun excursion one night. Hey.
Yes.
Hey. Say goodnight.
Thank
Now,
you.
actually, wake the fuck up and say goodnight. She thinks she's tired. She's got work to do tomorrow.
Yeah. It's just been a long day.
I know, honey. Everybody doesn't feel good, and...
But on that note, everybody have a wonderful night, morning, day, whenever you see this. Thank you for coming out to our streams.
Is that it?
Hmm?
Is that it?
Don't forget to say your part.
That's all you got to say? You didn't learn anything tonight?
Oh, I learned a lot about not making hits on people and...
Oh, God. She's still on cherry turnover. Not making hits on people. Yeah, it's kind of law, honey. I mean, how many other shows I watched do you say, oh, and she got busted? Dude, that one where the chick, they come to her house and tell her husband's dead, and she, like, freaks the fuck out, and she's acting all weird, and they get her to the police station, and they're questioning her and shit, and she's, like, convinced that her husband is dead, and right at the end of the interview, they open the door, and her husband walks by. I'm like, that's fucking epic, dude. The look on her face is fucking priceless. But yeah, it kind of comes with a long sentence. And I'm not talking supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's something quite atrocious.
Well, I also learned that teachers use love and logic, but a lot of the times they use it the wrong way.
Not always. Some of them do. Some of them don't.
Depends on the teacher.
Well, some people can't really subscribe to that way of thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the whole thing with love and logic is to actually humanize the child. To make the child responsible for certain decisions. So that later on in life, when they have to make decisions, it's not like, oh my God, how do I make this decision? What do I do? Right?
Right.
And yeah, and taking responsibility for their own fucking shit. You know, you get in trouble, it's whose fault was it? What decision did you make that got you there? Right?
Right.
So yeah, I still love Love and Logic.
Me too.
My mom laughs at the most inappropriate times.
That's a given.
That's a given. Yes, it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gotten me in trouble in a lot of fights. Arguments, I should say. I've never really... Yeah. I start laughing. It's usually when I'm about to just totally unload on your ass, I start laughing and, why the fuck do you think this is funny? No, but this is. But anyhow, yes. I'm gonna let this girl go do what we gotta do, and we're gonna probably see you guys in a couple days, because I don't know if we'll be here Thanksgiving or not. What do you think? You gonna be too stuffed in?
No.
She gonna be running around going, bah, bah.
Only with a leg of lamb in my hands. And it's bah.
Yes, ma'am. But anyhow, we hope you guys had fun tonight. I know we were kind of all over the fucking place.
Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Now get the fuck off our stream. Oh, by the way, if we don't see y'all tomorrow, have a great Thanksgiving. And don't eat too damn much. And if it's green and it moves, don't eat it. Now get the fuck off our stream. And do whatever the fuck you gotta do for the day or night or whatever the fuck it is. Have a great one.
Much
Love you. Bye.